Welcome to our new series of vlogs, which is Understanding Service Charges. So hello, my name is Tom Long and I'm a resident at Box-Tree Court in West Yorkshire. And I'm the resident lead on the service charge network. But over the last few years, one thing has become extremely clear to all of us. Service charges are often misunderstood. They can seem complicated, sometimes even confusing, and not always easy to relate to everyday living. So, several people have got together today and thought it was time to explain things totally and properly. Now, although this is resident-led, I won't be doing this on my own. And joining me today will be Tracy Jones.
Hi, I'm Tracy Jones. So I'm Head of Commissioning and Service Integration for Housing 21. I've worked for Housing 21 nearly 10 years. My role focuses on leading the mobilisation of new developments in extra care and the integration of acquired schemes across both extra care and retirement living, ensuring that services are compliant and sustainable, whilst also driving key initiatives such as our Resident Service Charge Network Forum, which strengthens transparency and resident engagement and experiences.
Thank you, Tracy. I also have another resident to help me as well. That's Ian Devereux. Now, Ian is a resident at King Edward Court in Kent, which just happens to be a PFI development. Now, many of you might say, what is PFI? Private Finance Initiative. But I'll leave Ian to introduce himself and explain that one.
Thanks, Tom. And thank you for the introduction. I've been a resident here in Kent for coming up for 12 years now. As Tom says, I live in what's called a PFI scheme. I'm also the member of the Extra Care Board Committee, and I also run the Resident Forum. And I am also very, very interested in service charges because, to be perfectly honest, I've never understood our service charges. So this is very appropriate for me. And I think some of the questions that I will be asking will be because in PFI, they may not apply. On the other hand, there may be some things that are very specific to PFI that don't apply in the other general schemes and the way the service charges work. So I'm very interested in how the explanations are put over and how we understand the things that we all have to deal with when we get that letter through the door that's our service charges for the coming year, and we'll sit there and go, well, it's gone up, but why? I hope we can start answering some of those questions.
Thank you very much, Ian. I'm sure we will. And now the other side of the Housing 21 network is, of course, a very important section, retirement living. So we have with us today Antony Walker, and Antony will introduce himself and explain possibly some of the differences between extra care and retirement living. Over to you, Antony.
Thanks, Tom. So I'm Antony. I'm the head of retirement living for the Southwest region. So retirement living, we're not greatly dissimilar, I would say, to extra care. We don't provide care services on site. There is a strong emphasis on kind of independent living, but we do still have independent properties and communal lounges and facilities that residents can use. So that's kind of the main difference with retirement living. I've worked for Housing 21 for 15 years now, which is pretty much my entire career. So I'm well embedded in the organisation, and I used to be an area manager as well. So I used to deliver these service charge consultations for better for worse, which were always interesting, but they're always engaging because you want to bring this to life for people. You want people to understand it. And if you get to the end and people haven't really got any questions, hopefully you've done a good job in the process because you've answered them before they come up. Hopefully these vlogs will help with that as well. once we get to service charge season. So thanks, Tom.
Very good, Anthony. Thank you. And our last presenter today is Richard Lawton. Now, Richard is the guy who we all blame every day for increases. We never praise him when there are decreases. So, Richard, perhaps you'd like to introduce yourself to our viewers.
Yes, thank you, Tom. So yes, I'm Richard Lawton, head of resident charges. So in the main, that covers the rent and the rent setting each year, and ensuring that we're sticking to what it says in the lease or what the government has told us through the rent standard. And obviously a big part of that also is overseeing the setting of the service charges and the year-end process. So Housing 21 operate a variable service charge, so that's pretty much every one of our 24,000 units, or about 500 schemes I think there is now, that we have to produce statements and budgets and things for. So a lot of work goes into that, and I must be a sucker for punishment, because I've been doing sort of service charges now for almost 20 years I think, and it is one of those things, you know, if you move into a home that, you know, has service charges and you've not been exposed to service charges before, it is, you know, it's a lot to get around your head and how it works and things. So whatever we can do to you know, bridge that gap for residents, I'm all for.
Thank you very much, Richard, and thank you all for those introductions. So, viewers, you now know who to blame. You can now put faces to the names. And that's important because it brings together the resident experience and operational understanding. So that's the two coming together here, the resident experience from Ian and myself, and the operational understanding from Tracy, Anthony and Richard. So we can therefore give you a complete picture. So who is this for? Quite simply, these vlogs are for everyone, whether you rent your home, are a shared owner, or you own your property outright. This series is entirely for you. We'll be looking at service charges across retirement living, extra care, PFI schemes, and the villages, and any community settings that we might touch along the way as well. And each vlog will focus on one topic, breaking things down into absolutely plain English. This is not about policy or paperwork. It's all about helping you understand what you're actually paying for. And I think that's rather important, that you do understand that. But more importantly, also how the charges are calculated and what services they support. And again, an important issue, what questions you should feel confident asking. Please do ask questions via email or through your manager, and we will answer them when we record the next vlog. In fact, each of our vlogs will start in future with answering questions from the previous one. So our approach is an extremely simple one. It's open, it's practical, and it's perfectly honest. We'll answer the questions that residents would ask and then work through the answers together. The aim then is very, very simple indeed. It's to give clarity, it's to give confidence and transparency. Alongside the vlogs, the service charge network is there for you to get involved if you want to, at whatever level. You may just want to observe, you may want to contribute. So if you would like to join the service charge network, we'll be very happy to welcome you along. Just speak to your court manager. This is our first vlog, and this will cover the basics of service charges and how they apply across different types of housing. And we'll do this by using the budget discussion paper as our template. Now, if there is something that you would like us to particularly cover, please let us know. We're there to help. We're there to make things clear and transparent. This series is entirely for you. So thank you very much for listening.